All right. Check one, check two. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour.
Hell yeah.
With your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming to you live with a super special guest, one of the funniest, creative, cool cats that I know. Please give it up for director, comedian extraordinaire, Victor Varnado.
What's up, everybody? Victor Varnado in the house. Victor Varnado, let's get on. Who likes potatoes? I don't know, but let's go. Stick them in your mouth. Where else in your butt? If you go south, hey.
Foghorns. Foghorns.
Now you're gonna have to like
pirates.
Make this mix. You gotta make this mix work.
Look it up.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Victor Varnado has a doo-doo hat. Oh,
doo-doo.
Yeah. Tell me all about that.
Doo-doo.
Victor. Yeah. Doo-doo. It's the best. Doo-doo rhymes, doo-doo sauce. As a word, I've always thought doo-doo as funny. It's up there. It doo-doo almost beats fart in my world. Fart is almost hack. Doo-doo is artistic. It's funky.
Doo-doo one is universal and it is physical. Okay. Because farts, you don't see a fart, but you see doo-doo.
You see doo-doo, yes.
Exactly. So like
if you don't want it, it's so strong, you don't want it even near you, but you can't deny what it is or what it isn't.
I used to do this joke a long time ago about how Tarzan the Ape Man was not a great movie because if he was really raised by apes, he would settle his arguments by throwing his doo-doo.
Ends all arguments right there.
Exactly.
That ends all arguments.
He would just be slinging his
I don't
poop
care
around.
how much of a thug you are. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how much muscle milk you pump.
Thugs would avoid him. They'd be like, "Don't mess with that dude. You piss him off. He will hit you in the face with doo-doo.
He will hit you in the face with doo-doo and diarrhea doo-doo too."
Exactly. He only eats like prunes and corn just to be ready all the time.
But you know what they say. If you smell really close to roses, they smell like doo-doo.
Who says that?
It's an Outkast song.
Oh, really?
Outkast.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
The dopest lyric. It's one of my favorite lyrics, and he says "poo-poo," which is a little bit classier and more musical.
Yeah, his clothes have sparkles, so he has to say "poo-poo."
Yeah. Are you excited? Okay, Victor is doing Dynamo Kingdom. This is a 420 event that I've been talking about on this podcast. This is not just a plug. I'm actually curious. This is a one-of-a-kind stand-up live stream show, and this is the director, the mind behind this whole thing. Tell us about Dynamo Kingdom, Victor.
Dynamo Kingdom is actually an extension of these parties I used to throw. Did you ever go to my parties I used to throw at my apartment?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about them and I've been through, and I always knew it was a good scene, but I always had a baby. Like I was always, but I think I stopped through a couple times and hung out.
My parties,
I used to remember it. Yeah. And that loft space in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I used to have a 2-story loft in Brooklyn. And this is like when I was riding so high on the hog. Okay. Like really high on the hog. Like I was working on these crazy shows. I was getting a lot of money. And so I would just throw crazy parties because I hated the shows I was working on, because I was like working on reality shows with getting good money. But I was like, I'm going to use this money to throw some crazy parties. And then so in my parties, in my loft, 2-story loft, I would have every room. I would have a video game set up so people could play video games. Like, so if you didn't know anybody, you'd have somewhere you could go. I would have strict rules that you had to bring like booze or a woman to the party. So like women had to bring women, men had to bring women, or you had to bring booze. The reason being because the more women that are at the party, the less women feel threatened. Because if there's only a few women at the party, then they are like meats on hook to dudes. And if there's more women at the party, nobody feels threatened. And
No,
so we would,
if you're throwing party, that's everybody knows that equation. Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta have. You don't want too many dudes at your party.
exactly. And so like I would just get people to bring people to the party. And then if women were like, why are you saying you have to bring women to the party? Then I would explain why. And most of the time they'd be like, oh, I get it. Just because I didn't want a situation where like women felt uncomfortable at the party. But then, so there'd be stations for games. And then on the top floor, we would have a DJ playing or some of this kind of entertainment. Once I had like a karaoke band at the party. And so like I would just throw these parties where just like, it was so much fun. And then people would come to it. And then like, random people would show up. One time,
DJ, would you DJ or did you have?
no. I would never DJ. I would always have somebody else DJ, so I would just throw parties so I could enjoy the party.
I went to a party of yours and you had Prince Paul DJ at Comet.
Exactly, Prince Paul was DJing.
Yeah, dude, that's heavy for my world. That is super heavy.
Oh yeah. I was into it. And then so Dynamo Kingdom is like these parties, but it's also like a show and a party. So at Dynamo Kingdom, there will be video game stations where you could play and win prizes. There will be that at the party.
All you awkward stoners out there. I'm one of those cats. Give me a video game console.
Exactly. We have a dude who's making like an indie designer who's like debuting a new game specifically for the party, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and then
indie games, they're dope.
Oh yeah, and then we have like stand up with like awesome, amazing stand ups. There's this guy named Rob Cantrell. He's pretty funny. Anyway, he's going to be on the stand up show. Also, like Marina Franklin's going to be doing stuff there. There's just like a lot of dope people performing.
Yeah, Joelle, I think we got a lot of females on the lineup, but everybody's funny and interesting and different and cool. Seth Herzog, one of the New York's legendary comedians.
You just almost canceled yourself. Did you hear what you said?
What did I say?
You said we got a lot of females on the lineup, but everybody's funny.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, people comb through text for phrases like that.
Yeah, people comb through podcasts, and I know with this podcast I kind of space out. So, but I try not to be ultra aware and try to be more natural in the moment. And
you have to be. You can't.
You have to be. That's what. Yeah. I mean, you know me. I don't want to say. I mean, I try to ride right down the middle. And especially for this show, I'm just excited about the show. And I know a lot about stand-up. And I know what the lineups are out there. And this is a unique, cool, great. If you're going to get high and go see a stand-up show, this is the show to go check out.
Exactly. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And then also, so then there'll be a stand-up show, like a short stand-up show, and then a dance party with video games. Then also we have go-go dancers that dance in dinosaur costumes. So they're gonna be pretty awesome.
It's gonna be freaky. Like I would say this is definitely the ghost of Andy Warhol. Like if you want to get to real New York art, weirdo comedy, stoner scene, this is definitely the show for that. You know, if you want to capture that vibe, which everybody's missing in this world these days, you know, and that's one of the reasons people come to New York. This is the vibe.
Absolutely. And then finally, like a rap battle is happening at the show.
Sorry to cut you off. I forgot. I do know. That's one of the major selling points. Tell us about the rap battle.
Yeah. So I used to do this show at UCB Theater for 7 years running as an improvised comedy rap battle. Rob, you've done the show before. You've won the show before.
I have.
You won the rap battle. Also, Wayne Brady has done the show. Wayne Brady has done the show. Lin-Manuel Miranda has done the show.
Wow.
Shockwave from they're amazing. Shockwave from Freestyle Love Supreme is the beatbox for the show. He's coming off of his Broadway tour to come back and do this show.
That's so dope. I talked about him, man. Like he's a man of few words and he can beatbox his ass off. And he's been doing like improv comedy beatboxing since before Hamilton.
Yeah, he's just a great dude, funny dude. And we used to do the show all the time. And then now we're bringing it back to close out this party. With the rap battle.
The rap battle.
It's just everything that I like stuffed into one place. That's really what this show is.
It's so unique when I try to get my head around it, or I'm like, this is just Victor's thing, man. This is and that's what, you know, kind of happenings in New York during like CBGB, and you know, there was just an art side of New York that was always like this type of shit that was happening. And now that cannabis is getting legal, like it's gonna make it really fun, you know, again.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And now that, yeah, they just decriminalized it at a federal level. So we're actually going to be talking to all the right people for this party.
I know.
Mhm.
Did the Republicans pass it? I know it's gotten all the way, but the talk is the Republicans aren't the GOP or what, I don't forget what, I don't want to talk politics, but they got it. That's the thing, is Democrats pushed it all the way and it passed, but I guess it's the House or the Senate or whatever, it's got to pass that.
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly what's happening, but I know like it's just changing. Like it's changing. Yeah. It's becoming like everybody knows what it should be, and some people are resisting because some people resist no matter what. But you know what? Just let me borg it up. Resistance is futile.
California's been doing this forever. Colorado, which I'm playing Colorado right after this gig. Victor locked me in early. This is kind of I've had some really fun gigs on 420 over the years. I don't always get them, but sometimes when I get them, I look forward to them. And this is one I'm super looking forward. We're doing a live stream of it. This is like a one of a kind night that's going to be live streamed out into the universe.
Yeah, this company Moment House, I wanted to do it. I wanted to make it a special. And then so like a live special. And what they do is they do a live stream. Actually, they're trying to actually get away from the word live stream, because what they do is like the way they shoot it is cinematic, so it'll look like a Netflix special. So it'll be live, and you'll be able to talk back and forth, and you'll be able to type in, and we'll be able to know what you're saying and stuff like that. But it's going to look like a Netflix special, which is great.
Yeah, they got the hardware, they got the setup, they got the new technology. Technology is moving so fast and forward, especially with these cameras and equipment. You know, I'm excited. It's rainy and cold out there. I got a little bit of cannabis and coffee. I got Victor. You know, I like the Zoom. I like the technology. You know, I like good technology. Technology does some amazing things. I'm a big tech head because I used to be a computer programmer. So like I love like a good piece of technology, and there's lots of amazing, there's just crazy stuff happening right now. And it's also becoming exponential. Like stuff is being invented so fast, just because I made an invention. I have a patent. I have a patent now because of an invention I made. Smart.
It's just like, if I can make an invention.
Dude, the dude that came up with the spatula, you know how paid he is?
Oh, probably very paid.
Very paid. What's your I had an uncle that worked in the kitchen. He actually cooked for the University of Tennessee. He did all the food for the sports teams, and he would try to make like spatulas or like like he would patent all these things.
I think the easiest way to explain what my invention does is it interprets video game visuals as text, and then accepts commands as vocal commands, so that anybody can play video games. Like a blind person could play Call of Duty and interact with sighted people, or it's like that's if you think about how a movie, there's a description track for blind people. Like it does that with video games, and then you can also play the games by talking to it.
Oh, that's dope. That's huge. Yeah, one of my friends that I lived with in San Francisco, he's legally blind, and he was an art teacher. And I still, with all the technology, he was an old hippie, like went to Grateful Dead shows in San Francisco in the 60s and 70s. But with the new technology, he is kind of tech savvy. And he uses voice act, you know, he uses all that shit. And I know he loves TV, like he has all this media, and you know, and I know he probably is a video game guy. So I know there's a market, you know, and I know it's great technology and people will be into it, and it's helping, you know, it's good karma. Good karma.
Yeah, I mean, there's amazing stuff available. What's your favorite? You like Zoom? Do you have any other favorite pieces of tech that help you?
You know, I do love Final Cut.
Oh yeah,
I think that's sick. I think these MacBooks are sick. I love this Lacy mixer. I love Shure mics. I'm looking into this beat machine that I got on layaway. It's called a Roland 404. It's like it's really good for like punk rock, like making beats, just like really small and compact, but sounds super professional and analog. So I'm looking at that. And then I'm also looking at a GoPro to shoot this. Like I've done a few things with a fisheye with my phone on remote. Next time, Victor, I'd love to go out to a nice coffee shop in Brooklyn or wherever we're at and do this live. So I'm looking at the GoPros. What kind of tech are you looking at with like cameras and shit? Like, are you filming this on a real camera off your computer, or do you have this a rig up?
No, this is just like on my this is on my iMac from the iMac camera, but I just know about lighting. So I have a light up here that is on my face, like giving me a nice glow. And then I just have like, I have it like, like how you can get like LEDs for your yard, like that are colored lights. Yeah, I just have one of those on a stick behind me. So it makes the background all purple together. So it like just makes it look like a set, even though it's all in my house.
Yeah, man. I think people are really getting into LED and lighting and tone. I've been burning incense. Like incense and lighting is like a major like senses, like you can calm yourself and relax yourself and like have a cool purple light. You're just like, yeah, let's make some music like Prince.
Yeah, for real. The music just like Prince. I'm actually gonna start. So finally I'm gonna put out an album as King Supernuts,
which is your moniker. King Supernuts is Victor Varnado's rap name. Your name is cool. You don't even need a new rap name. I know Victor loves a good dick joke, and what he loves better is a good ball joke. So King Supernuts.
King Supernuts. I've been working on rhymes for King Supernuts. Like I have a great battle rhyme for King Supernuts. This is two lines that I think are great. Like
you don't want to let them out there if you're going to do them on the show, but you can.
No, I'm not going to do them. I'm hosting the show, so I can do this. This is going to be an album. So it's just like, I'm King Supernuts and my shit's so spectacular. I got a lazy eye, but I can still see how whack you are.
Oh, you're definitely using that in the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a lazy eye, but I can still see how whack you are.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a great line. That's a bar. You just everybody, just a gold bar.
I'm coming after people. I'm gonna make a diss Instagram against you now. This is happening. I'm coming after you.
Don't come after me. You know me.
I'm doing
I'm
it.
not the king of battles, man.
I'm coming after you. Too bad.
Freestyle. I got to sit in a room and write like rhymes for a couple days before I start unleashing the dragons of what's happening on the microphone. Oh yeah, don't even try to diss me.
Diss everybody.
You better phone home. See, I could do a diss, but I'm not trying to go into negative energy these days. But I will say, just to plug your show, because I'm not on the rap portion of the show, but he's going to do a battle rap. And I've been on these shows and they're awesome, but they aren't fully negative. And even like the whacker rappers win because the crowd just wants it funny. Like the stand-up environment, or like you were doing it at the UCB, like it was a comedy club environment or like a laugh environment, which is different than a music environment. Whereas a laugh environment, like, so what's cool about Battlelicious, it really doesn't have that negative energy. People will go hard and sometimes it might veer off, but the crowd almost brings you back into the funny zone because you want to get laughs,
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about getting laughs, about having fun. We had Kira Herzog win before. She's 70, so she came to the show and put it down as a 70-year-old woman and won because the crowd was just like, yeah, because she was just like going for it and it was just great. And she's just beating everybody, even great rappers, just because she was 70 years old and she was like making some rhymes. Everybody was like, yeah.
Yeah, with rapping, like that's what's so. I mean, I one of my personal beliefs is deep down inside, everybody wants to rap and everybody wants to do stand up. Like I've always, like I just think, even if they're hating on it, I know why they are hating on it because I am a professional hater. So I know why they're, but deep down inside, like they're the two funnest things is rhyming. But rhyming is just pretty much linking the turns. You know, it's not as hard as stand up. You know, stand up is hard as hell. It takes forever.
I think like deep rhyming, like when people do like those fucking like really connected rhymes, like those are super hard. Like that's definitely hard.
Technically, I mean, I mean, I'm a bit of a hater, but I will say, like, I don't come in. I'm not a super fan of Eminem or even fast rhyme styles.
Uh-huh.
My love kind of came in towards Run DMC and like and Houdini and so but when it got fast and super technical, I guess KRS-One is kind of where I start to check out. Like I just don't care. Like the song has to be funky. I think music is mystical. Like when you capture, and I think Eminem's captured some moments, but when you capture a joint, you know, a good song or good, like, you know, when you capture it, it's just like getting a good laugh or something or putting together a good special.
My favorite rhymes are just those that have a high level of emotion. And that can be sometimes it can be people who have like very intricate rhymes, or it can be somebody who doesn't have a lot of intricate rhymes, but just like has a lot of emotion behind it. But that's really, if it really hits me hard, like if you're talking about Eminem, like that Stan song, that's great. Like that's just a great song. And it has a lot of emotion behind it.
Well produced. Yeah. I mean, the beat is sick. And his flow style, yeah, that's just like a super well produced, great song. But when you talk about emotion, it's like, as much as DMX was so over the top thug, you know, like just gangster, but you could feel the emotion in it, and it just hit you. Like it kind of
emotion is good.
And
I like Brother Ali.
You know that
guy?
The same way is just like when something's like undeniably emotion, whether it's positive or good, you just I don't know, you vibrate towards it.
Yeah, I like Brother Ali. Do you know that guy?
Yeah,
he's great. Like he's a great example of doing them both. One of his songs, Prince Charming, is like one of my favorite like rhymes that's just like really, really great, but also super funny. He's like so solid.
Dude, he's amazing. And yeah, he's up there with like Ghostface. Like he rhymes like in terms of like, I do like lyricists. I guess maybe I'm just a hater of Eminem. Because I do love.
Well, you said you're a professional hater.
I know. I got it in me. I try to work through it, you know. But because I do love Ghostface style, and I do love like Wu-Tang. Like I do, but what emotion was like Old Dirty Bastard was so abstract, and that's what made it so dope, you know. And it was emotional, and it was just so crazy that, you know, nothing else, you know, with art, you know. Dude, if you're with art, if you're original, the king is like, it can't be duplicated, you know. That's like,
I agree.
That's like the shit. So once it can be duplicated, or it's just riding some other shit, you know, but when it comes out the box, like Dynamo, just to bring it back to Dynamo Kingdom, there's never been this show.
No, there's never been anything like it. And I'm always about that. Like I'm always trying to make things that I haven't seen before. Like I do that constantly. Like I'm always just like, if I come across,
watch out for, because in the cannabis lane, like I try not to go, you know, it's so played out with like pot leaves and everything. Like I try to like keep it real, and that's what I think with this 420 event, Victor, you're not going heavy handed, like, but it's just kind of a nod to the date, and it's probably super weed friendly, you know.
Yeah, I think that I mean, I think that cannabis is definitely going mainstream. And I think the problem that most people have is that anytime there was a cannabis thing, it was almost like a fight. It was like, in your face, America, cannabis, come get it. And I'm just like, let's just do a great party. And it's a cannabis event. Like it's a cannabis event, but like, it's not about, we're not trying to.
Yeah, it's very
like, we're not shoving it down people's throat. We have people on the show who's like, do I have to smoke to be on the show? I was like, no. But there have been shows like that where they're like, yeah, everybody has to get high. And you're like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's this show. Like, I don't care if you're high or not. Like, I'm usually pretty high. When I'm doing it. And so you know, it's pretty much my reaction to everything. So
I'm just about, let's have a good time. I just want to have a good time.
Yeah, you just want to have a good time. And that's what I'm about. And that's why I got into stand up. And I'm excited for, it seems like Omicron and all this stuff is starting to die down. I'm excited to start performing live and get out there and do shows. Yeah, and start, maybe even shooting some more stuff outside in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking forward to the summer when the weather gets warmer, my man?
I am looking forward to when the weather gets warmer, and I'm really looking forward to just like running around the city and shooting some stuff. I'm actually
That's what
going to
I'm
be.
feeling too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just. Oops, excuse me.
What kind of camera
Hey.
would you be fucking with now? Like for this, I guess Moment House is handling all the cameras and stuff. But are you? What are the? Is it still the red cameras, the big shot, or and then there was the other one, like I don't know, Black Magic was one that is like super pro.
What I'm trying to do right now actually is I'm trying to create a system that is compact, because I want to shoot a film, and I want to have everything be able to fit in a duffel bag, just like one bag. It's got to be camera, lights, microphones, everything in one bag, so that I can shoot something that is that really moves. And I just want to be able to just like take away any barriers. Like it, when you're shooting on a big film, there's like setups that are crazy. Yeah, they are. It takes forever,
I know,
right?
just to shoot walking around the corner. First, they got to get the food people there. They got to get the lights people there. The union has to be involved. 7 producers, a helicopter,
Yeah.
But when you're
If
doing
you
guerrilla shoots, I'm totally into that because the technology is so there. That's why I'm interested in the GoPro camera and and doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is I have like a little audio system that plugs right into my phone, and it's 2 wireless mics, so 2 people can talk. 2 people can both be mic'd, and then you can just shoot it with your phone, which is great. And I want to do that, like a system similar to that, but I don't want to use my phone. I want to use something where I have like a little better controls over everything. But yeah, but that's what I want. I want just like super simple system so I can just make a bananas cool movie.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a market for it. I think I may have told you that about, because you do a film festival as well. We may have talked, if I told you this once before, but in Italy, I guess the comedians, there's a film festival that's kind of like almost as big as the Cannes Film Festival, but they have like comedians from different towns shoot a movie and then they battle like for the the funniest movie. Like I always thought that would
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Like you have a week, you guys all have the same camera and equipment. We need a 17-minute piece with these writers and these, team it up. And then it's like 10,000 grand at the top for like the best movie, the funniest thing, and show it live. There's something about, Victor, I wanted to pick your brain about directing, and that's a lot of like, cooking and Zen philosophy. It's all about making decisions and stuff like that. But but making and then that makes a funny film. Like I always thought like the groups that like maybe Brooklyn versus Queens comics and do like a battle royale of film.
I mean, I think that's totally doable. I would, if we wanted to get together and figure that out, we could do it through my film festival.
I know. Tell us about your film festival. We showed our Victor directed Rub My Feet, which is a very beautiful song and beautiful film. He I look at these old videos. Victor directed a video for me. I have to say thank you very much. And Adam Dubin, this great director, directed and Giannis Papas directed it. And I look back at him and I was very thankful at the time, but now I look at the cuts and just like, man, you got a great eye for directing.
Oh, thank you. My lazy eye?
The other eye. The other eye is good. That one's funny. That's your funny eye. Victor actually was I just kiss your ass one more time, but I'm not really kissing your ass. I'm just very interested, and I just want people to know because it's kind of a cool fact. is that you directed a special for Comedy Central called the
Awkward Comedy Show.
Yeah, Awkward Comedy Show. But it was the first, it had Hannibal Buress, it had Eric Andre, it had Marina Franklin, which is going to be on Dynamo Kingdom, and then yourself. And that was like the first time Eric Andre probably did stand up on TV, was it? Or,
it actually might have been his first television performance. I'm not sure if it was Hannibal's too. It might be Hannibal's first.
I think
I'm not
so
sure
too, because it was kind of like we were all kind of doing these shows in the Lower East Side, and those guys kind of popping.
Yeah, these are actually just like my buds that were hanging out at the time. Did I ever tell you the origin of that?
Tell us the origin of the Awkward Comedy Show.
The origin of the Awkward Comedy Show is that I was kind of popping as a comedian at the time. Comedy Central was like, hey, do you want to do a half-hour special? And then I gave them my material for a half-hour special, and they were just like, nah, we don't think you're ready yet. And then I just made my own special with my friends. So I was like, forget that, I'm ready. And I just made one.
Yeah, and it was a little bit before everybody started shooting their own specials. Like I always was impressed by, Victor kind of gets art in terms of, I've talked about it on this podcast. Like he produces his own thing. He directs his own thing. He looks at things with a mind for, okay, I'm going to make money over here, but it's still creative, but I'm also going to do this weird bar show that he ran. You ran one of the coolest Lower East bar shows that I did back in the day with Michael Fox for like a few years, right?
Maybe I've done a lot of bar shows. Although I think that when things started to go much better is when I realized that with just the way the world is in the internet, for the same amount of work you can put into a bar show, you can put into something that can touch the world rather than 30 people in a bar.
But you do learn how to handle hecklers and keep your cool when drunk people are throwing up on your shoes.
Absolutely.
But your bit about Mach 3 razors.
But the thing about the bar shows is like now I'm like, okay, other people can produce bar shows. I'm going to do shows that can go to a bigger place.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, actually, to be honest, Dynamo Kingdom's kind of a bar show, but it also is going to be streamed live around the world. So
I know, and the venue's dope in the sense that it's a music venue, but it's still small, but it's in a really cool part of town. So it doesn't ever have like this cool of a venue. Like, Seth Herzog does his show there. I've seen really cool music happening there. They have DJs, but now comedy's popping. They have a lot of comedy. Are you excited? How big is the Chelsea Music Hall? Like,
the Chelsea Music, it's actually not a lot of people can be in the Chelsea Music Hall. Like the Chelsea, we only have 200 tickets available at the Chelsea Music Hall. So live in person, it's gone. They're not all gone. The tickets aren't all gone. There's still some tickets available, but I will say that they're
it's an intimate
they're
venue.
not a lot.
Yeah.
What?
And it's a really intimate venue for like the lineup, and so it's going to be packed. And it's easy, but you still get this like kind of CBGB like small rock club vibe to it, which will be cool for a stoner comedy show.
It's great. They actually have. I mean, they have one of my favorite things, which is a fog machine. That is definitely getting used a lot during the rap battle.
Oh, you got to get some lasers. The thing about fog machines, it goes great with lasers. So Victor,
we get fog machines. Oh, there's definitely going to be lasers now that you mention it. That's a great idea. There will be lasers. There will be a fog machine.
Yeah, hit the lasers on the fog and it goes strong. It looks so 80s cool. Fucking.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. That's definitely happening. I think
Runner in the house.
I think that when people do the dopest rhymes, we should just turn on lasers.
always. That's what the Fresh Fest, I saw Houdini. My first concert was Houdini, the Fat Boys, and Run DMC on their first album at the Fresh Fest in Roanoke, Virginia. But the lasers were like those little tiny, like green, like total Tron, out of Tron video game lasers. But they would hit the smoke machine and write bubble letters in the sky. Like nice. I remember it just looking so futuristic, but it's still so 80s at the same time. The Who has a really good, they're all wasted. There's a cool video of like Pete Townsend doing this slide, and then these lasers hit all this like, smoke machine above them. It's just a classic rock bit too.
Nice. I was the last time I did a show with Battlicious that was just like super iconic was where we were doing the show and everybody was dressed as animals because we just had like a bunch of animal costumes for some reason. You weren't on that show, but it was fun. So everybody rapped as their animals.
Oh, dope, man. I would
Yeah.
definitely get a peacock or a pelican. I would definitely be a rapping pelican.
Nice.
Or beaver would kill it. What were you? Were you a spider? I could see you being a spider.
I think I was a dog.
You are a happy dog too.
I think I was a dog.
Dogs are dope. I will always go on record saying dogs are dope all day. I also, Victor, we're gonna we passed a good time, but I also wanted this is a random one. What do you think of the new Dune? I watched that. Did you see that shit on?
I did. I saw the new Dune.
Yeah. What's the word on the street, man? It captured me visually, but it really took a long time to say nothing.
I think that is like the new Dune was, it was visually just straight up amazing. Like visually it was great, but there just wasn't like a lot of impact, emotionally for me. Like there were a couple of things that were like, wow, that looks cool. But then like, it just wasn't any impact emotion. Like I didn't really care what was going on with the characters and people would like, I'm doing my last stand here. And I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah. I don't care if that person dies. I don't care if they get eaten by the worm.
Yeah, when Jason Momoa went out, I was like, eh.
Yeah, his whole angle in there was like he was not nerdy enough to be in that film. It was like they got the high school quarterback and nerded him up to be in this super sci-fi, because Dune is a level, not to talk, but in Dune is a little bit more intelligent. It's just super nerdy sci-fi, man. Dune is like classic up there. And visually it was awesome. It was like, it was just like sci-fi porn, but it just took forever. And at the end, I was just like, okay, they made it to this weird city. Is there a Dune 2? Is that what they're building up to?
The original movie was, or not the original movie, but the original book covered all of that in the book. Like they cut it in half for the movie. So like the new Dune is half of the book. So yeah, that's why it seemed like it was halfway done, because you're like, what? It's over?
Yeah. Did they just run out of money? Did the pandemic hit like right at the end when they get to the place with riding the worms? I was like,
I get it when they want to split things in half, but like when they split something in half, like still make that movie, stand on its own, because it just does not. A movie that stood on its own, which was really fun, was Back to the Future 2. Back to the Future 3 was actually better than Back to the Future 2, but Back to the Future 2 was its own thing. I'm just saying that because that was a movie where they shot both of them back to back, and that was like one of the first times that they did that, where they shot a whole movie and sequel side by side.
Is that George Lucas or Steven Spielberg? Somebody big directed that.
Yeah, there was neither of them. It was Robert Zemeckis.
It was Zemeckis. Roger.
Yes.
And what else did he do?
Robert Zemeckis, like I think Back to the Future was his first like giant thing, and then he's done like a lot of weird stuff. Like he's really into
Frank Oz. Was he that crew? The Muppets crew? No.
Was he in the Muppets crew?
No.
You
were about to say I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. He did like Beowulf. Wow. He did that movie with Tom Hanks that was like motion capture about Christmas. Like it was a train and Christmas. I forgot what the name of that movie was. It was like Christmas Train or something like that. It wasn't Christmas Train, but I'm sure they
a lot of wild. Yeah, it was Christmas Train.
Yeah, Christmas Train
with Tom Hanks. And you watch the first 20 minutes of it and then you fall asleep, but it was still very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, the Something Express. I forgot what it was called, but like it was a Christmas Train movie.
Yeah, he did that. That looked really cool.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis did some very interesting things, and then he got wrapped up in CG now. So he's like really CG motion capture. Like that's his baby right now that he's working on.
Nice. High-end super effects. I get it. That's dope.
Yeah, I like him. I like his stuff. Robert Zemeckis is badass. I want to make stuff that is as good as his stuff, at least. At the very least.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. He's an epic. No joke. But I had 2 quick questions and then we'll be done and you can be back to working as hard as you do, Victor, and I appreciate your time. But
I'm gonna go masturbate after this.
That's important. Got to get it out.
Gotta have a little
men
release.
of our age, right? Isn't it good for the colon or something? Somebody told me it was something. Oh, prostate might be. But what was the last thing you got high and watched on TV?
The last thing I got high and watched on TV. Let me tell you the last thing I got high and watched on TV that affected me the most.
Okay. If that's more interesting, if that's where.
Well, I mean, the last because I'm a dude. I'm very ADHD, and so like I take a little hit now and then just to actually just like kind of calm me down and like focus me a lot. And then sometimes I'll get like high, but most of the time I'll be like a little bit buzzed.
I love it.
Then the last thing I saw where I was like so high, and then I was watching it and I was like, whoa, was the Dark Crystal series on Netflix. That is, get high and watch that. It's amazing.
That sounds awesome, man.
It is.
That's how I got into Dune. I don't know. Sometimes the sci-fi doesn't pay off, but there is a nerd in me that just loves some good. I love Star Wars. I can just get lost in fantasy and the Dark Crystal puppets, weird puppets. Oh, that sounds amazing.
I suggest the Dark Crystal series on Netflix. Yeah. All-time things that you should watch when you're high. Fully Cooley is one of those things. FLCL. Look that up. It's amazing.
Is that an animated joint?
It is an animated joint. Fully Cooley is amazing. Ex Machina. That's one of those things. Watch when you're high. It's just great. I love it. The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. That's great. It's very scary.
I interviewed one of the actors, Thomas Waits. He was also in, but he asked me to do some stand-up at his acting class, but he was in that film. He was like one of the major guys. He was also in The Warriors. But so I got high and rewatched The Thing, and that's and it's directed by somebody super heavy. The Thing was directed by
John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter, who did
no, I said Halloween, it was John Carpenter's The Thing earlier. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, did he do Halloween, right?
John Carpenter? Yeah.
Yeah. Did Halloween.
The original Halloween.
Okay, I was going to spin off on breakfast, what you had for breakfast today, but I also was going to say, what did you have for breakfast today, and what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, my favorite horror movie is Prince of Darkness.
Oh shit, that sounds scary.
It's weird. It's so fucking weird. It's so weird and it's so scary. And then it's just like one of those movies where you're just like, what is happening? Like at the end, you're like, what is happening? Because basically the devil shows up at the end of the movie.
I know that there's nothing scares me more than the devil. Like all these fake slasher dudes. Like I'm like, dude, I seen a homeless dude scarier than you the other day, like in the subway. Like you're not scaring me. When they start talking the devil, I do get scared as shit.
Yo, I was actually hired to write a horror movie once, and then the story I came to them with, they were too afraid to make it because there are these texts like texts that were commissioned by the Catholic Church that talk about the devil, and in the text, like they say in the text, like if you asked for the devil to appear before you and you if you ask for the devil to appear before you and you are true in your intent in your heart, he will always come. So like the church wrote that down. And so like that's what I was like, we should do a movie about this. And they were like, oh no. I was like, but that's really scary
to me, and it scared the shit out of me, man. I don't even know.
That's scary, right?
I might have to cut this out of this podcast. I don't know if I want that information out into the universe.
You should cut it out and just you should say this part was cut out and then just show your reaction.
Oh no. No, that's hilarious, man. Yeah, that should yeah, that's a scary. Well,
Yeah.
let's go back. Then let's, the thing about scary movies, like I think it's just like adrenaline rush. So I kind of get it. I went through like a horror movie phase. I went through like, but I usually get stuff gets played out. Like even coffee. Like I like coffee, but I'm going more tea these days. Uh, but everything about horror movie, like you ever watch something really scary and then you're like immediately like, we got to put on something funny. We got to put on something funny. Do you ever change the mood because you got too emotionally freaked out by what you
Definitely.
watched? What was
Prince of Darkness is one of those movies where I was like, I gotta go.
Okay, after that moment, what's the movie that you always go to make you back to your happy place? I know
Hey, everybody. It's The Emperor's New Groove. That movie's so funny. That movie is so funny.
What's the
Have you seen that?
I've never seen it. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's a cartoon. David Spade plays the lead.
Oh wow, I love
David Spade, John Goodman. Eartha Kitt is hilarious in this movie. Eartha Kitt is so funny. And not only that, the whole movie, the style of the movie is like a vaudeville trip movie, but it's a cartoon. So like the jokes are just bang, bang, bang. It's so funny. Please watch this movie, The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh wow. I will check this film.
It's funny.
I can't wait. Is it G-rated?
It's great. Yeah. But it's hilarious.
Oh yeah. I love animation and I love music. I do love musicals. I love music. Did you see Hamilton?
No, not yet. I have to watch it. I know it's on Disney. I know it's right there, and I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, okay.
I know people in it. I haven't watched it yet. I need to.
Just the performance wise, and just articulate. What I'm learning about myself, and I think you're there as an 80s kid or 90s kid is like, I love music videos, and formed a lot of my media sense comes from music videos. So a musical or Hamilton, anything, it kind of builds on that happy place of mine where it's like visual and music, you get everything. But I'll let you go. We've been too long, actually. You hung in there, Victor. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I love hanging out. Let's do it more in person.
Yeah, let's do it more in person. We're definitely going to do it on 420. Everybody check out Dynamo Kingdom. I will have it a link right in the description of this podcast of what should we do, Victor? Should I
Dynamo Kingdom. If you want the information, dynamokingdom.com. If you want to get tickets to watch the show online, go to rob.dynamokingdom.com because that'll help out this very podcast of a friend who I love very much.
Oh, I love it. I love you, Victor, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the laughs. All right, that's it, everybody. That's our time. We're out.
Cool.
Peace, love.